Welcome back, everybody. Namaste. We are starting with a 1 week of break. So today we will explore the verse 4, Sloka number 4. But before that, we will do a short meditation. So let's all sit tall, head, neck, and trunk in a straight line. Closing your eyes. Slowly bring your attention to your breathing. Take a deep inhalation and feeling the body getting energized, and a complete exhalation with a feeling of relaxation. Inhale deep. Exhale completely. One more time. Deep inhalation and complete exhalation. Keeping that eyes closed, I would do Rupa Dhyana. We'll go use the Sindhurarana Vigraham, and you can create that Vigraham in your mind. I am going to talk through the lines and the meaning. Now, in your heart, bring that beautiful Vigraham of Devi, Sindhurarana Vigraham. We are meditating on the Divine Mother, whose body is red in color, like a Sindhuram. Trinayanam, she has 3 eyes. Manikya Maulispurat, she is wearing a beautiful crown studded with rubies. Tara Nayaka Shekharam, Tara Nayakan, or the crescent moon, is on her head. Smita Mukhi, she has a beautiful smile. Apina Vakshoroham, she has a full bosom indicating the nourishment for her children through that Kshira Sagaram. Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam. In her one hand, she is holding a jewel-studded pot filled with nectar or amritam, and hence the bees are buzzing around that nectar, around that pot. Rektotpalam Bhipratim, and her other hand is holding a red lotus flower. Saumyam Ratna Khatastha Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam. She is seated on a jewel-studded platform. To that Devi, I am doing my salutations. So keep that Devi Swarupam in your mind for a few more moments. Now we'll start with some prayers. Sada Shiva Samarambham Śaṅkarācārya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvikhnam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Matre Namah. Today we will go over the Sloka 4. Before that, we will do a quick recap of Sloka 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll go over to that Sloka 4. So Sloka 1 started with glory of Shakti. So it started with how powerful Devi is, where Śaṅkarācārya started that first verse. And that is the summary of the entire Soundarya Lahari. So what we talked about in that first verse is Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shakta Prabhavitum Naje Devam Devo Nakalu Kushalas Pantidumabi. Adastwam Aradhyam Harihara Virinjadibirabi Pranamtum Stotumva Kathamakrita Punya Prabhavati, where it says that Shiva, the supreme consciousness or Shuddha Chaitanyam, is kind of inert, and it gets its energy, the power from who? Shakti. Shakti alone is providing that power to Supreme Shiva. And if Shakti is not there, Shiva is not even able to vibrate. And And Shakti, because of her power, is created the entire universe. And that is the different cosmic functions are performed by Srishti, Sthiti, and Samharam, performed by Brahma, Viṣṇu, and Maheshwara. They are also drawing their power from Shakti. So that was the first sloka about. Glory of Shakti, we can never understand. Only Shiva knows the full glory of Shakti. So Śaṅkarācārya, in the second sloka, is trying to at least try to make us understand how amazing or how much her mahima is, how much glory that Shakti is holding. So by using Tani Yamsam Pamsum, the stardust, what she's saying, what the Śaṅkarācārya is saying is that just by mere some dust from her feet, Brahma has created this universe. So just then imagine if the dust has the power to create this universe. And then when you talk about this universe, think of the sand in the ocean, right? Like a one sand on the banks of the ocean, how insignificant that sand is. Now, when we consider the full earth, how insignificant is us, right? We are like just a speck. And now, when you're thinking about the Milky Way, think of how small the Earth is when we are thinking about Milky Way, right? And now, when when you're talking about the entire universe, the Milky Way is again smaller. So you can never imagine the full universe itself. And now that universe, Śaṅkarācārya is then mentioning that that's coming from the dust of Devi's feet. So then imagine her full glory. So that was what the second sloka is about. Tani Yamsam Pamsum Tava Charana Pangeroha Bhavam Virinjis Sanjinvan. And then he goes on talking about how Virinji has collected this dust and created the entire universe. How Mahavishnu, with his 1,000 heads, has carrying or sustaining that universe that Brahma has created. And when Shiva, when she is withdrawing her power from that universe, it becomes dust again, and then Shiva is smearing his body with that dhuli or dust. And it is not too far from our science also, right? Carl Sagan has mentioned that we are nothing but stardust. We are made of stardust. And also we talked about attraction, repulsion between the planet and all that, the energy, the atoms, energy. We talked about all that thing. So it is not too different from the scientific method as well. So we talked about the glory of Shakti and then how insignificant the universe is that is coming from the dust of her feet. So that was the second verse. Then we went on to the third verse, 2 weeks back, where the dust continued. So it was still talking about the dust, but instead of talking about the cosmic function, now it is talking about what this dust can do for me, for the people, for humanity, right? And then when we talk about people, there are different people wanted different things. So it categorized people into 4 different major categories and said, Devi is providing whatever the people wanted for them. Again, when you are doing the upasana of Devi. So Devi's grace, again, the difference is that then is that fair? Like those who are, we say that those who are crying, you get milk. Is that so? Not really. So Devi's grace is provided to everybody in exact same way. But how open we are to receive that grace is how we will be receiving it. So the rain is always there. If you want to get wet, you have to do that walking in the rain. Like if you are holding the umbrella or you are staying inside, you're not going to get wet. So it's up to you how you want to receive it. So that's where that difference is. It's not that Devi is actually doing partiality to everybody, but it is depending on how your sadhana is, how you are doing the dharma. Depending on that, her grace towards you. So it talked about 4 different type of people, right? The first one, for those who are avidya namandas timira mihira dviba nagari. For those who are the internal darkness, for those kind of people, she is a luminous sun rising in the island. And that is removing all that darkness. So darkness of what? Darkness of ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of who we are. So who doesn't know our own swarupam, which is we all are, right? So who doesn't know their Swarupam, and she will be that sunrise, so luminous sunrise, or it's not just that the sunrise in that the first island where the sun is rising. So that abundant light is what she is to those upasakas who has internal darkness and who is wishing for light. The second one is that who are Jada people, Jadana Chaitanya Stabaga Makaranda Sruticheri. For the people who are Jada or dull-witted people, she becomes a gush of Chaitanya, that awareness that is lighting them up. And then third one was Daridranam. Daridranam Chintamani Gunanika. We said for the poor people, she becomes the wish-yielding gem. So the obvious question is, can I get two of that? Because that is giving anything that we want. So we should not think about that wish-fielding gem, whether it is Chintamani as a gem, or Kalpavriksham also as a tree, or the Kamathenu as wish-fulfilling cow. So we are all of that, we have to think about it is actually state where you will be receiving everything. And when you will be receiving everything is based on your tapas, based on your sadhana. So if we can think about in a big picture, right, we know that the energy vibration, Shakti, the energy vibration is what is created that Panchabhudam. So now if that vibration can create the Panchabhudam, if we have that ability, if we create that same energy vibration, we can create any Panchabhudam. Of course, we know the stories of people making rain, and all that thing we heard about it, right? So, but again, let's not even go to that extreme cases. Let's talk about us. You might have also experienced, if you are doing intense sadhana, intense prayer, whatever you are thinking in your mind, you are getting fulfilled, those wishes. So there is actually a power to those sadhana, and that state where you are doing the extreme tapas, extreme sadhana, that state is what is called Chintamani, or not that actual physical gem where you rub on it and then it will give you all the gold and the money, everything. So that is how it should be looked. So that third category was saying that the people who are poor, she becomes the Chintamani. And again, not one Chintamani Gunani, a set of Chintamani. Then the last set of people are talking about the one who are Janma Jaladau Nimagnana. Who are actually immersed in the samsara sagaram, this birth and death and punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. So who are immersed in the samsara sagaram, for those people, she becomes Varaha Swami's tusk. Just like Varaha, which is the third avatara of Mahavishnu, raised Bhumi Devi, who went all the way down to the Rasatala because of Hiranyaksha, the demon. And in order to save Bhumi Devi, the Varaha, the Mahavishnu's third avatara, went all the way down to the Rasatala and then raised her up. Just like that, for those people who are actually immersed in the samsara sagaram, Devi will become the tusk of the Varaha Swami, and raising us up, or in short, she will be providing us the enlightenment, which is going beyond that samsara sagara, meaning getting enlightenment. In summary, the third verse actually talked about how Devi is providing all the blessings to a different set of people. Whoever wants whatever is what she is providing. She provides liberation, she provides vidya, she provides the bhoga, all that material benefit that they need. She provides ultimate enlightenment also. So it is covering dharma, artham, kamam, and moksham. So dharma, artham, kamam, in tantric world, it's combined into what is called bhogam, which is all material things that we needed to fulfill a successful life in this earth. And then moksham is to go beyond. So that's what that third verse is. Now we can actually go to our next sloka, which is the fourth one. So let's go there. So what does Sloka 4 says? Sloka 4 is Shakti is the refuge of the universe. त्वदन्यपाणिभ्याम् अभयवरदो दैवदगण त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनय भयत्रातुं धातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छा समधिकं शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ. One more time. त्वदन्यपाणिभ्याम् अभयवरदो दैवदगण त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनय भयत्रातुं धातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छा समधिकं शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ. So let's go through one by one. त्वदन्यपाणिभ्याम् abhaya devadagana. Let's start from right to left. Devadagana is the group. Gana is group. Devata is devata, the group of devata. So all other deities, in short. What are they doing? Paniphyam abhaya. So they are using their pani. Paniphyam means two hands. Both the hands are paniphyam. Abhaya. Abhayam and varadam are two mudras. Abhaya mudra is this mudra where opening all the hands together. And Varada mudra is showing the boon fulfilling mudra, which is showing the hands actually downward. The tips of the fingers are towards the feet. That is Vara mudra. You have seen all the Devi Devatās holding the hands in Abhayam and Varadam. So Devadagana Paniphyam Abhaya Varado Twadanya. Twadanya means other than you. So other than you, all other Devatas are showing their hands in the pani in Abhayam and Varamudra. Abhaya mudra and Varamudra. Abhaya mudra says Abhayam means abhaya, with no bhayam. Bhayam means fear. So it is simply saying that don't be afraid. So the one difference between Sanatana Dharma, the Devatas and other Devatas are, Sanatana Dharma doesn't talk about sin or sinners. So the Upanishad says, Shrunvanta Vishwe Amritasya Putra. So it calls you the children of immortal bliss. It never calls people as sinners or sin, right? So that word is not used in Sanatana Dharma. So that's why Devatas always say that don't be afraid of anything. Arjuna talks about all the problems that he has. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna first advice that she starts is that don't be afraid of death, because that's the ultimate fear that people have. So it starts with don't be afraid of death, because Atma never dies. So that is kind of the Abhaya mudra. Don't be afraid. So that's that mudra. And Varadam is the boon providing. So anything that we ask, Devatas providing, that is represented in the Varada hand, Varam hand. Okay. So the first line is saying that other than you, all the Devatas are giving the anugraham to their devotees by showing two mudra, Abhayam and Varadam. The next one, Tvameka naivasi prakatita varabhitya pineya. Tvameka, you alone are not doing that. What? Prakatita varabhitya pineya. Prakatita is external expression. You don't have to, you alone do not have to show that physical expression of that Varadam and Abhayam. So here the word Abhiti is used. Abhiti and Abhayam are exactly the same thing. So Abhayam, you did not have to show Prakatita Vara Abhiti Mudra Abhinaya. So just you alone do not need to display this any gestures with your hands. So which means that we have, like, we went through the three slokas so far, but Śaṅkarācārya is really keeping a suspense of how does this Devi look like, right? So one thing is that that's one clue that is given here is that definitely she is not showing Varadam and Abhaya mudra. She's that is only what is written here. And because he wants to keep it a suspense, we will also keep it a suspense until a few more weeks that you will have to wait, where Śaṅkarācārya is talking about the Swarupam of Devi. So the next line is Bhayatratum thadum phalamapicha vancha samatikam. Bhayatratum. Bhaya means again Bhayam, the fear. Tratum is to do the trananam is protect. So to protect from bhayam, fear, and dhatum to provide. Phalam apicha vancha samadikam. So phalam api is the results. Vancha samadikam, not only the ones that we are asked. Vancha means what we wish for or what we desire. And samadika means more than what we desire. So you provide the same thing. You provide the protection from bhayam, and you provide the boon, but not only the boon that we ask for, but the one beyond what we have asked for. Vancha samadikam. So that's what you are providing. How? Of course, she's not displaying her hands, but then how is she providing? That is what the last line is. Sharanye lokanam tavahi charanaveva nipunau. So charanam is leg. Charanau is showing two legs. So charanau plus eva is charanaveva. So it is a sandhi rule in Sanskrit that's making is that charanaveva. So charana veva nipunau. Nipunau is smart or capable. So your two legs itself are capable to do the same thing. What? To protect people, protect the devotees from fear, and also to provide the boons, which is svancha samadikam, more than what they have desired. And then here there is an addressing Devi as Sharanye Lokanam. Lokanam Sharanye. Lokanam means in all the lokam. So we talked about there are 14 different lokams. And the Bhulogam, Bhurlogam, Swarlogam, and then the 7 of them on the Urdhva Bhagam, and then 7 in the Adholokam. So those 14 logam, so that includes everything. So for those lokam, you are the Sharanye. Sharanye is the ultimate refuge, ultimate resort. So you are that substratum of every single thing in this lokam, right? So that is how it is addressing Devi. So in summary, it's saying that all the deities are showing their two hands, the mudras with their two hands to fulfill the desires of their devotees, showing abhaya mudra and vara mudra. But you don't have to show any of that gestures with your hand, because your legs itself are good enough, or it's expert, or it's capable to do those two boon to the devotees. O Shakti, the refuge of the universe. So that is kind of the word meaning. So now, first thing when we hear this one, it says that, so the other devatas are lower than Shakti, right? Because it's using the word other devata has to now display the hands to give that boon fulfilling, or the abhaya mudra that is dispelling the fear from the devotees. So it kind of shows that, okay, they are less of Devi. But it's not like that. The methodology used in the scriptures are called here, this particular methodology is called Arthavada, that is coming from Mimamsa. Mimamsa is one of the Shat Darshana of Hinduism. We learned about one of the darshana last time when we talked about Vaisheshika of Kannada, and then there are 5 more, which is one of them is Mimamsa, and then you know, many of you are learning Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita from Rajesh ji, so you heard about this Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. These are the Shat darshanas of Hinduism. So in that, Arthavada simply says that in order to prove a point, we may sometimes do the stuti or ninda of the others, which doesn't mean that the other one is lower than the one that is pictured here or explained here. It is just to show the glory of Shakti. It is a comparison purpose only that is used. It has no, there is no intention to demean other devatas at all. So we will talk about that in an example that is coming up. So it kind of tells the Shakti as an ultimate refuge of the universe. So in order to talk this one, we have to establish the difference between Shakti and other devatas, right? before we go, if you remember, we started off our discussion with a lot of background on what is Shakti, what is Shiva, what is Ishvara, what is Shuddha Chaitanyam. Just a quick recap. We talked about that ultimate reality that is pervading everywhere is called, we can use the word in Brahman in Vedanta, Shuddha Chaitanyam, or the pure consciousness, or in Tantra, it's used as Shiva Shakti union, right? And Shiva Shakti union is what is that Brahman or consciousness or Ishvara. All these names are used for the same. So Shiva Shakti, we can use the word Ishvara for this purpose. So we have to establish the difference between Ishvara and the Devatās. When we say Devatās, we are talking about Gaṇeśa is a Devata, the Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Muruga, Subramanya. So all these different Swarupam are the Devatās. And then there is this ultimate called Ishvara. Which can be used as other words like consciousness or Shuddha Chaitanyam, or Shiva Shakti here. So the difference between Devatās and Ishvara is like we might have talked about this before, but then it may be a good time to kind of go a little bit more deeper into that. We can use that example of electricity. So we know that electricity itself doesn't have any power to show something, but when the electricity is passing through a bulb, the light is coming up. When it is passing through fan, we have the airflow. When it is passing through an electric heater, it's producing heat. So whether light or the airflow or the heat, it's if the bulb in itself will not have the ability to light up. Only when electricity is passing through, it is lighting up. So here, electricity is actually one component that is constant throughout, that is pervading. We can say, use the word pervading through the light and the fan and the heater and all the electrical equipments that electricity is. We cannot kind of catch and feel, but it is there. It's existing. You cannot see electricity, but it is existing. You are feeling electricity through the light, through the airflow, through the heat. So you're feeling it to different gunams, different equipments are giving different gunams. So this particular example was told to me first by one of my uncles, Ramakrishnan uncle, and I'm eternally indebted to him because this one really helped me go through that concept. So this is how electricity. Now, if you can think about the Devatās, so that same Ishvara is the constant, the force that is pervading through all the Devatās. So individual Devatās, let's take a Saraswati. Saraswati has Jnana Vijnana, right? Like all the knowledge is what she is providing to us. And then Gaṇeśa, when we are doing the Upasana of Gaṇeśa, he's providing the Siddhi Buddhi and as well as to remove the obstacles and all the tasks that we are taking. Mahalakshmi is providing the abundance of Aishwaryam, of everything, of money, of relationship, or all the things that in abundance is provided by Mahalakshmi. So if we do the upasana of a Devi or Devata, whichever Devi or Deva, they're providing that particular guna. And that is similar to the electricity example. Electricity is pervading through all these equipments and the different equipments. It's electricity is the same one that is giving them all that power. But you can see the electricity, but as a light, you will know electricity. As the airflow, you will know electricity. As the heat, you will know electricity. Similarly, if you do the upasana of Devis, individual Devis, you are getting that particular gunam, but that Devi, we use an example of CEO when I think Sri Kumarji was asking a question, then we use the example of a CEO and the department head of different of the corporate. But here, this is kind of a better example. the electricity and the equipment, where these devatas are drawing their power from that Brahman, from that Ishvara, from that Shiva Shakti. And I know because that Brahman is, or Shuddha Chaitanya is Nirguna Nirakara Rupa. I can't show anything, but I cheated and show the Om here because that one doesn't have Gunam, or I should say it is Gunatidam. Which is pervading everywhere, which in itself does not have any quality in individual quality, or all qualities are in it. So it itself doesn't have a quality, similar to electricity. So that's how we have to understand the devatas and the Shuddha Chaitanyam or Ishvara. Now, in order to understand electricity, we don't have to study. We can know the power of electricity through light. We don't have to know fan, and we don't have to do the quote unquote upasana of individual one to understand electricity. Similarly, we don't have to do the upasana of every single devata to understand the understand Ishvara, because the Ishvara is the one that is giving the power to those devatas. Ishvara is the one, the Brahmā is drawing the creative power from Shakti or Ishvara. Viṣṇu is drawing that power from Ishvara, and Shiva is drawing the power to do the samharam from Ishvara. So all these cosmic functions and all these devatas, which are having individual gunam, are drawing their power from Ishvara. So in order to understand the Ishvara, we don't have to go through the individual devatas. One devata is good enough, because Om Purnamada Purnamidam. So that is Purna, and this is also Purnam. So we just have to do the upasana of one devata. That is good enough. But for what? For in order to reach that ultimate reality where we need to receive the moksha. But why do you do the upasana of the different devatas? Is to get that specific guna, because jnana vijnanam, or knowledge, or siddhi buddhi, removing of the obstacle, or if we want dhairyam for muruka, if you want the Aishwaryam for Mahalakshmi. So all that devatas, if you want that specific one, if you do that upasana of that Devi devata, you are going to get that gunam. And that gunam is not outside of you, because remember, you are also that devata. Though Ishvara is what you are. So what you're doing is that within you, all these qualities are there within you, but it is actually not manifesting. So what you're doing is that by this upasana, you're manifesting that's the quality that's already in you. So it's not that Siddhi Buddhi is coming from outside. Nothing is coming from outside. It's just that you are cleaning up your mind. You are cleaning up your, the Papa, that we have different languages used. But once you are making yourself so shiny by this upasana, so these gunams that are inherent within you is coming out. That's pretty much it. It's not that there is somebody sitting there and giving you what you are asking. It's not like it's not a transaction. So that's how we need to understand the Devi Devata concept. So it's saying that other Devi Devatas are giving the boon by abhayam and vara mudra. But you don't have to show, because she is the ultimate. She is that Shuddha Chaitanyam. So she doesn't have to show anything, because she herself, her swabhavam is abhayam and varadam, right? So that is how we need to understand. So that's why I was saying that it is not to show the devatas are any less. Devatas are also purna, right? Devatas, we will get that particular gunam by that devata, but they are also getting that power from the Shakti. So in order to understand the Shakti or Ishvara, we don't need to need to go through different devatas, especially for that ultimate moksha. And then there were a few things that is used here. One word is Tvam Eka. Eka means here Śaṅkarācārya, being Śaṅkarācārya, he's an Advaitin. And he's using that Advaita Siddhantam, using a couple of words here. One is Tvameka, Eka, you alone, right? So that is showing that that one thing that is constant across everything, just like electricity, the one thing that is constant across is that Shuddha Chaitanyam, is that Shakti, is that Shiva. Shiva Shakti, we talked about Shiva and Shakti are not two separate things. It's just like the heat and the fire. We can talk about heat and fire, but it is one thing. You cannot separate heat from the fire or the cold from the snow. So it is together. So that is how the Shiva Shakti. It's a Shakti aspect of Shiva Shakti is actually doing that creation, because the other Shiva, as in it's a inert nirguna nirakara rupam, which has no guna. Right? So when Shakti acts on Shiva, that is when all these vibrations starts and all these prapanchams are formed because of the vibration from Shakti. So that's why the two different words used here. But Shiva Shakti is one, always together, right? Ardhanarish as Ardhanarishvara. Now that Tvameka says that you alone, Devi, is that ultimate refuge to everybody. So Tvameka, that you are the Sharanam for the Lokana, for the entire universe. You are the refuge. You are the resort. You are the only one who can provide that ultimate refuge to us all. So that is where this is showing that ultimate Sharanagati. The word Sharanye is used here. So Sharanye, you have heard that when we prayed that initially, that is a mantra from Devi Mahatmyam or Durga Saptashati. Sarva Mangala Mangalye, Shive Sarvartha Satike, Sharanye Triampake Gauri. So that Sharanye, so she is that ultimate refuge of that entire universe. And she's showing that's the Advaita, Tvameka. The Eka comes here. That is showing that you alone are the ultimate to everything that we can think of. So for those who do the upasana of Devi, not only we are receiving that material benefits, which is the bhoga, but we are also getting vancha samadhikam. So why it is used as vancha samadhikam? Vancha samadhikam is that nobody is, I don't know how many of us are ready for moksham right now. Like if we say that tomorrow we will be getting either moksham or are you ready? Then we said, no, let's wait until I have my grandchild, or just wait until my son's graduation, or let's wait until that. So we will still have that desire for the worldly things. So she provides the bhogam also, the material benefit, whatever we need to achieve in the this one. So that samadhikam shows that it is more than what we wish for, right? Ultimately, after going through all this bhogam, we finally understand that, okay, this is just like the more desire we have, the more we fulfill, we will have even more desire. We fulfill, we are still not satisfied, we will have more. So as we go through this, finally we say that, okay, there is something more that we want, more than this. Because when we have fear? When we think that we are limited, that is when we have fear. If we think that we are the whole universe, we will never have fear, right? So now in this world, I'm thinking that I am separate from Devi, I'm separate from Shiva, I'm separate from Ishvara. So that separation, that limit, that I am limited, is what is causing the bhayam in me. So Devi will remove that bhayam, right? By providing that moksham. Moksham is that the feeling that, or the awareness. It's not a mental feeling or the buddhi, in buddhi, or it's not an intellectual feeling. It's actually your awareness has to expand to that level where we feel that we are that akhilam, that the entire universe is what we are, or the Ishvara. We are the Ishvara, which is that moksham. So that moksham is where it is shown as vancha samadhikam, because what we want is, we want the car, and we want the nice house, we want the good education for kids, we want the relationships, we want all the things that in the material life, right? Like we want that. But then what is that one thing that we haven't asked yet, But that is absolutely, if we receive that, then we don't need anything more. That is the ultimate amritam, the immortality. That is the moksha. That is what she can provide that too. So she provides the bhogam and moksha. So that is where that two lines are showing. We will go into the sadhana and then we can open it up for questions. Let's summarize and go to sadhana. So the Sloka 4 provides us a glimpse of how Devi is providing, how Devi is the refuge to the entire universe. So the remaining Devatas, the individual Devatas are giving the devotees what they are asked for, their desires by two mudras, abhayam and varadam. But you, Devi, you do not have to physically express that with any of these hand gestures. You are your holy feet. It's showing that power of your feet. Your feet itself can provide the refuge and blessings beyond what the devotees are asking for. So that is the summary of this sloka, the sadhana. One thing, I have slightly changed the sadhana a little bit. So we will do the Guru Ganesha first and then Dhyana Slokam as we have been doing. And the mantra japa, I have now put that at the end. I will tell you the reason later, but now the mantra japa is after the sloka. So now you will recite the three slokas one time, and the fourth sloka that we went through today, again 10 times for 1 week, so you can learn. And remember, all these verses are mantras, all these slokas. So Śaṅkarācārya has very tactically hidden all these mantras of Panchadeshi and other mantras inside these verses. So please don't take it very simply, like these are very powerful slokas. So chant them with that reverence. So do the chanting of the 4 verses, and then finally you chant the 108 times Om Namah Shivaya. One thing before we go here, I would say is that when you are doing Dhyana Slokam, one thing, there is no right or wrong answer, but some food for thought. How are you creating that Devi Swarupam in your mind? Is Devi facing you, or is Devi facing opposite way? Also, how big is Devi? Are you seeing it in your heart? Is she small? Is she big as you? Or is she bigger than you? So think about those as you go through we are now going through the Sukshma Talam. So going through that subtle elements of it. So think of that as you do those Dhyana Sloka. Okay, so you are all serious upasakas, and like I said, we talked about all these things are in vain. Whatever you're hearing is in vain if you're not doing any sadhana. So if you want to get the bhogam and moksham that we are talking about, like you have to do the sadhana on a regular basis. So one of the things is that we have to clean up our mind. So for that cleaning up, the chitta shuddhi and chitta sthiti, we have to do these sadhanas. Remember, Devata is within you. You are actually cleaning up and bringing that all these swabhavam, all these gunam within you. So it is actually nothing that is coming from outside. So that's why when you are doing sadhana, each person is getting different thing, because it depends on how deeper you are doing your sadhana, and also the maturity of your soul also comes as a picture, because the karma we have taken so many janmam, and maturity of that is also a factor here. With that, sit tall, and we can do the sadhana together. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Viṣṇu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshāt Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Vakratundha Mahakaya, Suryakoti Samaprabha, Nirvikhnam Kuru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Now doing the Dhyana Slokam, just bring the picture of Devi in your mind. सिन्धूरारुणविग्रहां त्रिनयनां माणिक्यमौलिस्फुरत् तारानायकशेखरां स्मितमुखीम् आपीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्याम् अलिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नखडस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् वराम् अम्बिकाम्. Slokam 1. शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुं न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरिञ्चादिभिरपि प्रणम्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यप्रभवति तनीयां सम्पांसुं तव चरणपङ्केरुहभवं विरिञ्चिः सञ्चिन्वन् विरचयति लोकानविकलम् वहत्येनं शौरी कथमपि सहस्रेण शिरसां हरः संक्षुद्यैनं भजति बसिदोद्धूलनविधिम् अविद्यानामन्दतिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्य तपकमकरन्दश्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराहस्य भवति त्वदन्यपाणिभ्याम् अभयवरदो दैवतगण त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया भयत्रातुं धातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकं शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ. Let's do the chanting. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shri Matre Namah. May Devi's blessings be with you all. Sarvam Shri Jagadambika Pada Ravindarpanamastu.